Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, no intro today because we are doing a good old quick newscast. I am the Clown Prince of Power Rings, Tress now, and I'm joined by.
And then Mark Caster, Dylan Musk.
Yes, this was we had no news on the books, but I was gonna save some for next week. But then just lots of stuff happened. But if you're watching this live, or it'll get taken away if you're watching this Patreon, you can go check out all the other stuff that's on the feed. We're doing a quicker one because after this we're recording apes. But that's why I head to Patreon because this episode won't be on the main feed for a couple days now. It's gonna be look, the live notification woke him up. Here he is. How goes
Oh,
it?
we had a bird accident. A bird fell out of its nest. This little baby one. So I don't know what to do. Got a bird in our bathroom.
In your bathroom?
Yeah, it fell out of its nest, and so our neighbor called us over, and we picked it up. It's this tiny little thing, and the mum's flying around like crazy. So we don't know what to do with this baby bird. It fell like 10 feet off of the roof of our garage. So
Why didn't you leave? Like, you should leave in the yard for the mom to potentially care for. I feel like the mom's just thought you've stolen her baby now.
well, no, because it's like the way it is. It's kind of like it's a gutter that's angled, and then there's a tiny opening on the base, so it's an angle that goes up like 7 feet. And so whenever the bird goes underneath and goes up, you can hear it scaling and crawling up this angled ramp to get to the top where the nest is, but it's all contained. So I tried feet reaching my hand in to get the baby bird up. I can't. So I'm not going to leave it on the ground.
So it's
The
just in your
SPCA is closed.
bathroom?
It's in the bathroom. We created a little nest area for it, try to get some bugs in there, but
Can a
Yeah, I don't
mama
know.
bird pick up a baby bird? Like, do they have like the scruff on their neck like a cat, or what's
Yeah.
going on there?
I don't know. It feels like it's very because when I picked it up with my hands, like it was moving a little bit, but it's very. I don't know if the mama bird can necessarily pick it up because it's not. Maybe if it was an eagle, I could see it, but it's a relatively small bird, and it feels very flimsy. Like the head has a lot of weight, the legs have weight, the wings. It's so very dangly, like a
yeah.
puppet. So I don't know what we're doing.
Cut to 5 years from now when we go to Taylor's and this bird is just grown
Like
up
Planet
with
of
them.
the
It's a
Apes, I got
teen.
my-
Yeah.
Yeah,
King
every
of
stream
birds.
we do there is just a bird calling in the background.
Yeah. Wait 1 second, guys. But anyways, Taylor's here. We're doing a quick newscast. But like I said, that's why you join Patreon to get episodes ad-free early, just like this newscast could again. If not, we thank you for listening on the regular feeds and like, rate, subscribe, all that good jazz. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to get into it because we're not sure when Mr. Patzer is around. So let's talk. We got lots of news to talk about. So first off, I guess I should run down what we're doing. We got Gollum to talk about. We're gonna be talking about some Marvel rumors. S tiers. Well, I guess there's S tiers actually. S tiers. We got fantastic. We got Galactus has been cast. We got
Whoa.
some rumors about The Rock. We got some trailers, and then we got some details, good and bad, about shows. So we're gonna get right into it. Gollum. They announced today that Warner Brothers officially we got, and I have some clips to pull up, funny enough. 2 years ago, Embracer Group got the film rights to Lord of the Rings, and then they went, well, we're working on this thing and we're going to partner with Warner Brothers. So it's been since October, fall, sometime in 2022, since it's been happening. So it's been about 2 years to get this off the ground. But today at first it came out, oh, Peter Jackson's just producing a new Lord of the Rings movie. And I wasn't awake for that because I think the Gollum news broke after. It broke early in the morning for the Eastern people. I'm sure people were fucking super scared for like however long it was just that news, because I guarantee you people are probably thinking, oh my god, they're making a Lord of the Rings 4, like for a minute there. But no, what they've decided to do is it's going to be called as of right now, working title is Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. I can't remember. I think her name's like Fran Walsh. I can't remember his wife, who's his producing partner, but also the writer. And I forgot to pull up the other name. The other person that wrote the original trilogy, the screenplays, they are writing this. Peter Jackson is producing the film, and they've stated that he's going to be there every step of the way. Peter Jackson's wife is writing it, so that would make sense. He had a big hand in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, clearly directed all those big franchise. And Andy Serkis is going to be coming back starring, or at least in the role of Gollum. We don't know what the main character is because it is The Hunt for Gollum, so we'll see. But we have him coming back, and he's going to be directing. Obviously, has some experience directing. He directed one indie movie that I've not seen that I heard is good. He did direct a Jungle Book movie that was all right. And then he directed Venom 2, which is not the greatest. But he did do a lot of second unit directing on The Hobbit, so he's obviously, of course, very familiar with this word and has a big fanfare. So this is why another reason to go to Patreon. You should go check it out. We recorded about 2 years ago. We said what would be the best cinematic, like phase 1 for Lord of the Rings movies. So we took MCU style. We didn't do a connected universe, but we picked 6 movies that were going to be announced. So I'm going to share a little clip of what we thought 2 years ago, because I thought, gee, I'm going to share this to everybody. What do we think? Did we even talk about the Gollum movie? And I even was going to pitch, the tweet is going to be like, oh, even we didn't pitch a Gollum movie. But that is maybe not correct. So here's a few minutes of what we thought back in 2022.
So now hear me out. Now I'm not doing this for the meme, and I'm not doing this because there is a video game coming out centered on this character. Okay, good. Because we were talking about The Hobbit, and we talk about all these situations. I'm like, I just don't see where they go. And we talk about, like, would you do something with Bilbo? I'm like, nah. But I feel like you got to do something with hobbits, right? I feel like you make an hour and a half legit Descent into Madness movie with Smeagol and Gollum. Easy. You just call it Gollum, just like the video game. It's not going to be a stealth movie, but
Just like Joker.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you could literally get your Bilbo, where you get maybe that scene again, but from Gollum's point of view, even a bit more. You don't even have to get in that. I think it's more about you meet Smeagol, this ring, and there's those times where in Peter Jackson's, you see flashes of when they put the ring on and there's pain and there's all this stuff going on. I think you get even more into that. And I think maybe you add on something where, like, let's say they find Smeagol, because we joked about this in the retro, like, Deagle gets killed and, like, no one really, like, looks like you could have some hobbit that's actually going to go try and find Smeagol now, you know, because, like,
detective movie.
Yeah, like, not a detective movie, but like someone just trying to, like, what happened with Smeagol and Deagle. Maybe they think Smeagol's been kidnapped, and they think, like, I think you could add a nice side little hobbit character. So that's my pitch. And the beginning of the movie could be all just nice Shire stuff. You see the landscape.
I
That's
want
my
like
pitch.
30 minutes of just Shire with a regular Smeagol.
There's some girl that Smeagol kind of likes, but it's awkward, and maybe she goes for someone else, and he has like a middle, you know, not the greatest life. Like, you got to fill it up, Taylor. You know, what are you not down with the
He
Gollum
definitely has like
movie?
abusive parents.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
You sure you know better than a Harfoot?
I would take this movie if we were getting the other ones, but just on its own. And this is like, yeah, you're only getting one more Lord of the Rings era movie. Just this. Like, well, I don't know.
Gollum and his failing love life.
Yeah, failing love life. I could see it. I could see, like, Smeagol walking in, like, you bitch, and just, like, ripping his fish apart, eating
Directed by
his fish heads.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
Gollum.
I mean,
I was picturing more Eat, Pray, Love.
yeah.
I think if we look at some of these other ones that we're talking about, I feel like this Gollum one is actually like the easiest. Like, I can picture that. You know, this Gandalf one we're talking about, like, okay, what would it be? Nothing really sounds quite right. Like, oh, this is probably gonna be weird when they do it. I feel like this Gollum movie, like, that sounds like a fairly small scale thing that we can do, and it can still cover like decades of his life, whatever it is. But I think that one feels very viable. It feels like it's doable. I feel like, you know, give me a computer, sheet of paper right now. I could start writing that screenplay. You know, like, it
hour and a
makes
half
sense.
movie. Keep it that. Don't gotta go full 2 hours. Yeah, I think it just marketing wise makes sense. Tough thing is, again, like, you're gonna get someone that's not. It's, to me, all tough things with these movies when we do the legendary characters is all right. That's enough there. So yeah, it was funny because I really didn't. I was so surprised. Like, Taylor was on board, but only if we got multiple ones. I was surprised, and I don't know Dylan's thoughts, but I was surprised that me and Dylan, like I said, at least myself, because when I woke up this morning, saw the announcement. Honestly, I could say that, like, on paper, Jackson coming back, Circus being there, the writer's original trilogy, like, it all sounds great. But then when it was just like the hunt for Gollum, I was just. Maybe it's just because it's the first of, and they even said in this report, they said it back then 2 years ago, they said this is going to kick off the new cinematic, you know, movies that they're doing. So they're still saying, hey, we're doing multiple of these. So maybe with it just being the first, I don't know if it's just been 2 years later and because we've seen so much more IP and stuff fail where I'm like, I don't know why I'm more like on it, because 2 years ago I was feeling like this makes complete sense, and I also for the cast to say and go check it out. It's about an hour 20. It's a good time. So there's lots of mini exclusive episodes. You can just subscribe to Patreon, search something, and you can find all episodes related to it. We are also pitching in the sense of like movies we think would make sense, like business wise, right? So I think that's why I was so gung ho. So I don't know where I am now. That was still even past Venom, and I guess maybe I wasn't thinking about Circus. It is sounding like it is a prequel to like Fellowship. It doesn't sound like maybe what we were talking about before too. It wasn't so much prequels or the Jackson world, but it looks like it's going to fit in. So I can't say like I'm excited for this movie.
I can't say I'm not excited, but I'm not like if for some reason in 6 months we find out this doesn't happen, I'm not going to be heartbroken over it. So I don't know what has changed in the past 2 years in my life, but from there being a pitch, and it does make sense. All the reasons we talked about, like if you're looking at marketable characters, people love Gollum. You know, they're going to make a baby Grogu version of a Gollum doll, and like people do that. Like I don't know, but I will talk about maybe story beats, but that's where I am currently in 2024, where I'm like, all right, like it didn't float my boat. So yeah, I don't know. So Dylan, I'm gonna throw it to you. Where are you now? Because you're like me. We were both like, yeah, that seems like that's the viable. That should be the way. You said it's a viable option. Do you think it's still viable now in 2024? Because the Hobbit movies mixed, but still made lots of money. Rings of Power is Amazon's biggest show. So like, other than the Gollum game, Lord of the Rings still's proven that it has like some chutzpah. I don't know what the animated film's going to do this December, but I think that's a little bit different, right? But live action stuff so far shows that people are still wanting it. So are they going to be wanting a Gollum feature?
I'm trying to remember. So obviously, War of Rohirrim's coming out later this year.
Yeah.
Rings of Power season 2. Did they confirm multiple seasons or just 2 for the time being?
3 sounds like it's pretty much a go.
Okay.
They didn't greenlight it, but they have like a writer's room for it. So I think 3 is going to happen.
Is there anything else on the table right now? Any other movies or shows announced that I'm forgetting about?
There's no movies that can be made, only with Warner Brothers, because Embracer Group made that deal with the WB to partner with them. So all the
Right.
movies. So this is the first of that, and TV shows, as far as I know, I don't think anything else is cooking. So it's just Rings of Power 3, Gollum, and then obviously what else Warner Brothers is working on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a series for me where, yeah, obviously that original trilogy, my favorite movies of all time, love it so much. But I don't feel like getting a bunch of movies, and let's say we get some bad ones, it's never going to take away from what makes those movies special to me. If we already look at it, like we have those 3 great movies. The animated movies are kind of so-so. I like the Hobbit one, but the Lord of the Rings ones are not great. And then you get like the Hobbit movies, and all those are kind of meh to bad. So if you look at it, it's like we've already had kind of like maybe as many bad or mid Lord of the Rings things as we have had good stuff. So I don't really see this as like, I don't know, devaluing the brand if they put out some weird Gollum movie. And I'll be there day one, very excited to see it. The fact that Circus is attached and all these other people who worked on those movies back in the day, yes, a lot of them also worked on The Hobbit, which I'm not as fond of. But I think, you know, if they announced a Gollum trilogy, oh boy, I would be scared, and that would be a slog to get through. And that's very much what they did with The Hobbit, where they stretched this thing out too much. So I think the idea of just aiming for one good movie, that's a hell of a lot easier than 3 hour long movies with extended editions that has a humongous budget. So as we mentioned in that episode, this does seem like something they could do cheaper, and I'm really curious what the setting of it is. In terms of that prequel part of it, that does make sense. There's still a lot of room to play with. It does make me, unfortunately, think a lot of like the Gollum game, and the ideas there of like people trying to hunt down Gollum because he has the ring. It's like that game didn't go so well, but I don't know if that's really that meaningful for what the quality of this movie is going to be. Curious to see what other kind of characters there would be in there that we would know and love. The timeline could be weird, and I'm not the lore guy like Kirkland the Master over there. Yeah. But I think it'd be cool if they could bring in some other people as well that we know, but at the same time, like, yeah, I do want to explore other characters I've never seen before on the big screen in that way. So yeah, I think I'm a lot more, I don't know if optimistic is the right word, but I'm very open for this, even if it's not great. Like, sure, why not? I'll take it. Lord of the Rings, sure, give it to me.
So I'll say in the way that it doesn't affect those trilogy ones, but does it affect your excitement for anything more down the line when they say, hey, this is the first of, more films to come?
I mean, I haven't been burned yet, really. Like, even after the Hobbit stuff, like, I'm still very excited for War of Rohirrim. Rings of Power, not my favorite show of all time, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited for season 2, even if there's some choices and stuff that I'm not a super big fan of. So I think over the years, yeah, we could get to a point where like it's oversaturation if there's a lot of bad stuff. Yeah. But I don't know, even if I like this movie, just with the talent that's attached to it, I think it'll be like at least fine, at least decent. Not something that would make me in the way I've like turned completely off Star Wars because I just got multiple movies back to back of like, this is not good. What is going on here? And I completely disconnected. Obviously, I have a lot more love for and nostalgia for Lord of the Rings, but I don't feel like I'm anywhere close to that right now in terms of exposure and overexposure. So yeah, I don't really have many fears at the time being.
We didn't think that either in 2018 for Star Wars, and here we are. We're in such a dark time now. You know, we got stuff that's exciting, but yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. And it's not the same because Jackson's not coming back to direct. I'm somebody that like, I don't know if I guess I could say the Hobbits are decent, but it's like on a different type of level. I don't know. They're so disappointing at stuff, but so he's not directing, but it would be very similar if Force Awakens didn't happen the way it happened, and George Lucas came back in some sort of way, right? And that didn't happen.
I'll be
But
worried if midway through the project we hear that the director drops out and then Peter Jackson is taking over for the directing. 'cause
like what happened with The Hobbit.
Yeah,
That didn't
exactly. We've seen
yeah.
that one too many times.
Yeah, that didn't happen with The
Going
Hobbit
in
exactly,
circles.
but yeah, it was close enough. So, Taylor, where are you on a solo prequel Gollum movie? It's just hunt for Gollum right now. There was a fan film that was made years ago. I've seen some people conjecture that like Gollum or Gandalf and Aragorn could be involved. Because I think there's some sort of story or some sort of hinting that like Gandalf. I'm not sure if it's just a fan film. I don't know. I'm conflating the two. That's why we need Kirkland. But I don't know if there's some sort of story where Gandalf requests Aragorn to go looking for him. I don't think you will see Vigo or Ian. There's always a chance, but I don't think Vigo. I don't think. I think that's off the table. But
He's busy doing westerns these days.
yeah, of course. Yeah, Hidalgo 3 in the works.
So, I mean, shout outs to you for having that moment. It reminded me of my Rogue One, not Rogue One, my Rogue Squadron moment where you get that early prediction and it becomes reality. And here you are. You manifested the Gollum movie into reality. Though
I don't know. I don't know if it feels good. Well, look what happened to your Rogue Squadron movie, though. It,
Still
died.
alive, appearantly. I mean, somehow, but. Oh,
Careful
Gollum,
what you wish
eh?
for, is what you're
Careful what you
saying.
wish for. Yeah, Gollum though, it's not the running to movie that I wanted, and I even joked about that with that Gollum game in the Discord, and I'm just not over the moon for it. But it could be fun. I'm happy to see them have returning faces that have been very much impactful on this franchise, so that's a good sign. And the fact that I'm assuming at least this is going to be in the same universe as the 6 movies.
Absolutely. I think
yeah.
this statement says everything because it says like them saying it'll explore it'll feature unexplored stories. I don't think you have to say that if you're rebooting it, right? Because if let's say this was like for some reason they're rebooting Lord of the Rings and it starts with Gollum, I don't think they'd have to say that because like, well, it's all unexplored. It's a new franchise, right? But I think if this is them playing within the realm of after Hobbit, before Lord of the Rings, and that's like, you go because I have a worry, but you go actually.
Well, it's still, I just don't have that much of a pull towards this character of Gollum. Well, I definitely think the setting could be interesting, going back to the Shire and seeing different parts. And again, these different stories that haven't been told before is interesting. And this is obviously at a time, well, we don't know exactly the time and place that this will start off, but we can assume it's going to be, of course, after he finds the ring. I'm imagining maybe a little bit before he gets the ring. It could be different parts of that, but we know that the ring is going to be a factor in here. We know that obviously this is a post Sauron's time, but still pre the Tower, Eye of Sauron. So there's still some stuff going on here that'll be kind of juicy.
I promise you're gonna get a poster with fucking Gollum's hand holding the ring and his little eyes over it. It's gonna be like summer
His
2020.
big eyes, really. He's got big
He has
bug
big eyes. He really does. When he becomes Gollum, his eyes grow 10 times to when they were Smeagol.
Well, maybe his head just shrinks a lot, with the exception of the eyes.
I think it's both.
Because he's
I think
pretty
his
small.
head does. He is pretty
Even
small.
for
But
a
those are
hobbit.
some big eyes. If you were to measure
true.
them
A
out,
little bit of both.
I would assume if it's been the hunt for Gollum, I think that moment when it's like Shire Bagoons, it's gonna be that. I think that's what's interesting to me is like, because like it being the hunt for Gollum, that doesn't mean Gollum has to be the main character, right? It could be another one, but in that sense, I don't think they would have an orc as the main character. But like that's what my mind jumps to is. He doesn't even have the ring. Bilbo has the ring, but this is like he has the information, so they're gonna get him down. I think for me, it's like I'm very curious on runtime too because we have nothing to compare it to live action wise. All those movies are like 3 hours, and that's why I'm hoping that they don't feel the need. Same thing as The Hobbit of like it was gonna be 2, they decided to go 3. I hope they don't look at this and go, well, our standard is like 3 hours, so this has to be like a 2.5 hour venture. And what you said, Taylor, scares me about the whole like, oh, Sauron's around this and that. Like that's what they did in The Hobbits of like, like hinting towards this,
The
hinting towards like,
necromancer, yeah.
I don't want any of that. Like, I'm happy Star Wars run, but I really don't. I want to be like Gollum doing his thing and we fall. I really don't want to like. I just worry we bump into Aragorn, we bump into Gandalf. We see he's like
And
watching
they're
Bilbo
gonna
at the
do it.
Shire.
They're gonna do
Oh,
something like that
no.
for sure. And I think maybe they could examine another series that tried doing this and stretching it out, like Fantastic Beasts, and maybe they could see, okay,
Oh,
this did
don't
not
even.
pan out, and maybe that will be, maybe that can be kind of like the example for them to think, okay, we're not going to do this. We're not going to stretch this out into 3 into 5 movies. Just needs to be a one and done anthology kind of thing here, right?
Are you're telling me they should go Fantastic Beasts route? This is what I'm gonna have
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Don't
They
ever
shouldn't
want to
do
hear
that.
Fantastic Beasts. and
I'm
Lord of
saying
the
they should
Rings.
look at how that failed, how they wanted
Yeah.
to stretch Fantastic Beasts, and they should let that be their example. Like,
Well,
okay,
they don't
let's
need to
not
look
do that.
there. They can look at their own catalog and look at the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, they failed there. Well, that's the tough thing. It made money, right? But for that, like Beast didn't make money. Like it made money, but like they should know. Hopefully, the team knows. And that's the other thing is too is like we talk about like Marvel or DC. Maybe Star Wars not so much, but you could do that with Lord of the Rings. I just feel like, is there such thing as a low budget Lord of the Rings movie, right? Like I feel like that's the tough thing. Like even already, like Smeagol is a CGI like computer character that you're gonna have to animate. So already Circus and Smeagol like cost two different things. Like looking at Apes is the best comparable right now. It just came out this week. There's really no big stars, and that's 160 million. Now that is a smaller budget than lots of the Marvel and DC stuff as of late, but still like 160 is nothing to cough at. And I just wonder, are people going to, especially because like I said, when we did that cast, that was 2 years ago. That was after COVID. Now we've had so many more things bomb, like Indiana Jones, where I go like, are people going to show up to go see Gollum? And that I don't know. Like we're all there. And like you said, Dylan, it's Circus as Gollum, so that we know like there's going to be some good stuff there. But I just like, I wonder if this would have been a better second or third film to go and start with something bigger, because I just don't know if people will this succeed? And I don't know. I really don't.
I think Circus, just coming back to actually play this character, would be the succeed thing is hard to say. But I think to get people in those seats, I think Circus is a huge pull for that. If you were to
Harrison
cast
Ford
anyone
came back
else,
as Indy though, and that didn't pull anybody.
yeah, but I also think that I think there's that definitely Indiana Jones hits home with us for sure. It definitely hits home harder with our parents' generation. And let's just be honest here, the voting demographic now is changed to millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah.
Or is it Gen X, whatever it is, I don't know. But the boomers and the
Gens.
previous generation, like they're dying out, they're fading out. But when you look at Lord of the Rings, that's our time. And you're gonna get a lot of millennials and it's not just like, oh, Circus is back. Okay. And those seats might fill up pretty well. And even like my mom, who's not really savvy on movies, she knows Smeagol, she knows Gollum, and she gets a kick out of that. So I think that's just a character that is probably stuck out to that older generation, and maybe that's enough to pull them in. They'll see a trailer and be like, "Oh, that guy back, he's back in a movie. Oh, okay, well let's get my friends together and go see him." So
I could see them pairing this with a. I know they just recently like put the movies back in theaters, right? But I could see like around
No,
the
next
time-
month it's coming. It's coming
Next month, okay, yeah.
Fuck.
I could see them doing that around this movie coming out, like either
Yeah.
right before, or right after, doing more of those, and I think that could get people excited, and they could get some more revenue that way too, in a much cheaper way as well. And they have a lot of movies they could dip into for that stuff. Obviously, between the 6 of them, plus, I mean, they probably wouldn't do that for War of Rohirrim. Hopefully, that movie pops off and is huge, but. Yeah, I see your point of maybe someone wanting to start somewhere else. I guess it makes me curious, as you mentioned earlier, like what if this show or movie, I should say, isn't so much about Gollum and he's not the protagonist of it, but it's about the crew of people that are going after him, and you have a really fun party of like 4 characters. You have an elf in there, you have a man, you have another elf, you throw a dwarf in there. You get this little crew together, and you get like Hunter Schafer as an elf. You get I don't know, who would you get as like a dwarf?
Jesse Plemons.
You get Jesse Plemons as a dwarf. You get, I don't know, some other big. You get Adam Driver as like the new Aragorn. If you get a crew like that together, and like the movie's about like this fun like ragtag crew going after Gollum, that could be That could be fun. I think that
So,
could be marketable in a different kind of way than Lord of the Rings has been before.
Gandalf loves to put a crew together. He's been doing that consistently. But is that for sure what we're gonna get here? Because we know he says like he
I don't
was
think we
trying
know
to find.
anything.
Well,
About
we know he was trying to find
synopsis,
Gollum,
right?
and he expresses because in I think it was Fellowship, he expresses, "Oh, the enemy found him first, yada yada." What if it was from the enemy's point of view? And we don't need Sauron, but I'd love to get like some orcs or
No
Uruk-hai hunting him down. I mean, that would be.
I mean,
super
you can
cool.
have them as an opposing force in the movie,
Yeah.
but I don't think you'd get them as like the main crew.
Because if you're marketing that movie and the orc is the main character, I don't see that working. I really don't. And like
Flesh.
to like counter your point, Dale, like I want what you want, but at the same time, I think they should be smart and go the other route and get a bunch of people that don't cost a lot of money. So then like they can keep that budget relatively low. Because like if you look at Lord of the Rings, other than like Ian McKellen, who I knew because that's Magneto. I don't know how I know Orlando Bloom. I feel like he was just popular at some reason for being popular. Like, did you guys feel like you knew those actors when we watched Lord of the Rings? And I feel like they all became stars after the fact. So I feel like
That's a good point. Yeah.
I think they could do, because what I'd rather do, and this is a big test too. We talked about this as being Jackson and everything. I better not get no CGI orcs again. Like, I hope they learned their lessons the same way of spreading the Hobbit out. If it's the Hobbit aesthetic with this, that will really check me out. And I'll still see it because I'll be pulling for it and I hope that I'm going to like it. But if it's those glossy looking orcs and all those like really non-practical things going on, which I know Lord of the Rings had tons of CGI, but it was such a great mix of the two. That's like my biggest hope is they can watch the runtime. The budget doesn't really matter to me because like I want it to succeed so we get more if they're good, but like that's their money. Do whatever you want to do with it, Warner Brothers. Hopefully Superman's big the year before and they can just be like, fuck, we can, even if it bombs, we got this. But I want them that runtime. Like as I said in that Patreon episode, I think an hour and a half, they'll probably go 2 hours. I think 2 hours is like the bar for a Gollum movie. Obviously they could reveal, oh yeah, it's Aragorn's brother and stuff, so maybe, but like I think on pitch 2 hours, I don't know if we're gonna get what I wanted, like because we were talking about this like a new thing. I wanted the like seeing a body horror of like Smeagol to Deagle, but I would actually like some Smeagol flashbacks and some more on Smeagol, even if it's like first 15 minutes of like what his life was like I would enjoy that. I don't care that Andy's a bit old, just de-age him or do some makeup. Like I really hope we get some Smeagol stuff in there because that's what the Hobbits kind of miss. Lord of the Rings, you need to have some heart, and that's what they can't lose with Gollum as well. As he can be the sneaky kind of, he can even be comedic relief, but I think they should still try their best to show him as like a tragic character. And I think it's not unworkable. I think it's just that I would really like to hear. I wish we got like a log line with this, right? Other than just the hunt for Gollum. I wish like what's a two sentence synopsis? Taylor, sorry, while I was talking, you had your fingers up there.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think you have a high chance of getting, maybe not a high chance, 50-50 CGI or practical effect orcs. And I said it because Rings of Power diverted from the CGI, went back to old school,
but not the same crew, right? That was Amazon being
not the
like,
same
we're gonna
crew,
be
yeah.
real. We're gonna go back to the way
They
it
spent
was.
a lot of money.
Yeah. And Amazon, they don't care, right? Where Warner Brothers, they just like reported it. They are 40% down,
You might
trying to
get
blame
those
it all on
CGI.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, fuck off, guys. It wasn't just Suicide Squad, but that's why I hope if we get orcs, then because like we don't have to see a bunch of them, right? What if it would be fun if you got Gollum and then you got a group, because like Dylan said, like you're like, oh, Gandalf looked for him, but it could easily be Gandalf and friends he didn't mention, right? So like I would like it if it is like a group of 4 to 5 and then even just a group of 4 to 5 orcs. Just keep it that way. Don't have to make it a huge, don't need to see thousands of them. That way we get the practical makeup again of like it's just a group of them, even a dozen. Like I feel like keep it low. That was the problem with the Hobbits, right? There's so many of them that they wanted to do that, but I think there could be something fun of Gollum has to escape from men and orcs. The beginning, you kind of make it very comedic, like almost him like Jack Sparrowish of getting out of the situations funny enough. And then when they do torture him, you feel bad for this poor soul, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think they would go like the opening sequence is Gollum doing some Gollum stuff, but then we cut back and get like some of the origin stuff, and then we kind of keep cutting back and forth between the present and like getting more flashbacks, kind of filling in the blanks of the character. If it was that original idea that we talked about of truly just all about Gollum and his adventure and not about other people directly trying to hunt him down. Because that title is ambiguous. Unsure.
Yeah. Anything else on this one?
Not at the moment.
Okay, well, next time we talk Kirkland, we'll get his thoughts and we'll see what's going on. See if we get more development. I'm curious. I hope they do take it slow, but I am curious of like, are they just gonna do this production, movie comes out, and then after, or are we gonna slowly now, like 6 months from now, get another one and another one? But I did mention that it's 2026. I don't think they have a date. I would assume the winter. All the other 6 came out in the winter. I think December is a good slot. Let me just quickly look at first showing if there's anything in
We're here, I was doing that
2026. Yeah, you're good point. Yeah, let's see, 2026 movies. Like I feel like an Avatar has to be out or something, right? Like right now we have so Mario 2's coming out, Toy Story 5, The Batman, Avengers. I don't know what the fuck Blast Bunch is. Frozen 3. What did you just look up there, Taylor? I heard your
We got
fingers.
Mandalorian Grogu. That's for 2026.
Right. And again, they're just that's not Disney. That's interesting because does that have a date though, Mandalorian Grogu?
It says May 22nd. I think they did drop.
Okay.
They officialized that.
So I guess they're not doing the December thing, which I still thought was smart for stars. What is Avatar 3, Taylor? Can you look that up? Just because they always do December as well. So
December.
is it 25? Can't be
It
that tough.
is 25. Yeah, December
Okay.
19th.
So yeah, December
That's getting pushed
2026.
for sure. Calling it right now.
Avatar?
Yeah.
Another one,
No.
2029 and 2031.
I think they already got that one banked still, and that's one of the ones they filmed like back to back.
Yeah, but when Avatar, like I don't know, bank is never truly a bank.
If that gets delayed, that would be interesting because Avatar's not gonna buckle from sorry Gollum, like Avatar's gonna kick the shit out of you. So like Avatar will not buckle from December, so that would be really interesting. But Star Wars in May, okay, that's a 2026 Mandalorian, Batman, Toy Story, the Gollum. That's a
Cinema is
stacked
coming back.
Avengers. That's a stacked year. So
Yeah.
we'll take our first ad break and we'll talk about some of those Avengers right after this. And we're back. So as usual, especially because it's a quick one, I'm just gonna quick fire some stuff at you guys, and you let me know what you want to talk about. Any notes on them? So this is for primarily all C tier stuff, but there is some S tier stuff at the end. Right now, there's a rumor going around that Ryan Coogler is being talked to direct the X-Men movie. Don't know if that would mean Black Panther 3 is still a go or whatnot, but that's the talks right now. There is some more like C+ tier rumors about the writers. Not good writers for me. Like one of the people who wrote Assassin's Creed, the movie, is on that list. He wrote Ballad of Songbirds and whatever, fine, but like, no. And then the other one's the writer of... oh shit! It's something else that's like, they're both like fine writers. But anyway, so you got that going on. There's a rumor that James Wan is now in talks, one of the top candidates to direct Spider-Man. He did the Aquaman movies and Conjuring and Saw. There is a rumor right now, all again C tier, that the MCU is talking to Dwayne Johnson about a role, with it being eyed as Apocalypse. So you got that going on. And then the actual, this is confirmed casting, is last week we got Paul Walter Hauser. He's been cast in an unknown role. Some people think Mole Man. We got, we got John Malkovich today, cast in an unknown role. So we don't know what he's playing.
For what movies are these?
Fantastic Four. Sorry if I didn't say that. So Paul Walter Hauser, John Malkovich, and we got Rafe Inson. He's the guy who played the Green Knight. He was in The Witch. He was there's another one in our sphere he was in recently, like one of the GV movies we like or reviewed. But great voice. Just watch The Green Knight. This man has a great voice. But we had heard the rumors for a long time, but this is the first time Disney and Marvel saying, yeah, Galactus is in this. He has a voice. There's the rumor that Javier was a top choice and they couldn't come together on money. They couldn't agree there. But honestly, like I'm just gonna shut out quickly my thoughts. I actually think Rafe is like perfect. Like I like Javier and the other rumors Antonio, but like when I think of the Green Knight, that voice, just how barrels and even the Witch, like man, that's gonna be a scary Galactus. So I'm like perfect. He's just gonna be a voice. He has a great voice. Perfect. I'm just kind of mad at myself. Even when we did the X-Men draft last week, when I did Apocalypse, I was trying to think of a great voice. Like, didn't even think of this guy, but he has such a good voice. And Malkovich, Paul Walter Hauser, great talents to add. Like, if you look at the F4 cast, it's getting really stacked. There's lots of really good talent in there, so that's really appealing. James Wan, direct Spider-Man, sure. I like that more than the other names. I love the first Aquaman. I love Conjuring. I love Saw, so I'm down. I'm surprised he jumped from Aquaman to do this. Ryan Coogler, sure. I don't know if it's going to happen, but like I do think they need someone really good on X-Men. I'm not loving those writers that are rumored right now, but if Coogler did get the hit, I would be very excited for that because I think Black Panther tackled, and even Black Panther 2 tackled a lot of racial and prejudiced, there we go, issues. Rock as Apocalypse is not going to happen. There's no way. We have a question from it. I suppose we'll answer after, but that's no way that is real. There's no way. I could believe they're talking to The Rock about something, but there's no way he's playing Apocalypse, in my opinion. That it couldn't happen. But Dylan, what do you think about some of this Marvel news going on?
Yeah, all the casting stuff is good. I don't know the one guy, but John Malkovich. I don't know, like, what kind of role would he play, do you think, in this?
Some people think the robot, like Herbie the robot, they might give the robot like an interesting voice, and that could be Malkovich. Yeah, because he has a distinct voice,
if
right?
that character's like a big part of the main team there and is always with them, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because I'm just thinking of like Fantastic Four characters, and I don't really know who he would line up for. Yeah, the guy from Green Knight, that's an interesting casting. I like it. I think that already with the main cast for the Fantastic Four itself, like there's enough star power there that I don't think they need to spend as much money on like a huge movie star, like household name level person for that voice. Because yeah, like I could see that being a fully CGI character. Well, obviously he's going to be CGI anyway, but like the face part of it, like I could see that whole thing being CGI, him just being like a voice role in this.
Yeah.
It would be cool if he was doing some mocap and got to, I don't know, throw his arms around or whatever Galactus does. But yeah, I think that seems like a pretty good pick as far as I'm concerned. So all that stuff's looking good. Ryan Coogler for X-Men I think is really great. I'm excited for that. As I've talked about, I wasn't a big fan of Black Panther 2, but I think there's many reasons for that outside of I'm not blaming Coogler, the director, on that one. There's other circumstances, of course, and I think he'd be a really good pick for that. And that's something I'd like to see him do. And as you mentioned, I feel like there's some good crossover there between Black Panther and what those characters go through versus what the X-Men go through.
Yeah.
So that's a nice comparison.
Again, I hope it's true. It's just C-tier stuff right
Yes.
now. And he's directing another movie right now with Michael B. Jordan. They're directing that rumor is it's a vampire KKK movie. So I don't know if the KKK is the vampire or it's vampires going after the KKK. I kind of hope it's that, but it sounds very kind of like, I won't say Tarantino-y, but maybe in a sense of, it sounds like they're going to be playing with some history. So it's Michael B. Jordan. It's a bunch of other good people too in there. So.
James Wan for Spider-Man. I like that pick. I think it's not that weird of a pick because obviously he did Aquaman, but to me, I saw the first Aquaman, didn't see the second one. I don't really think of that when I think of James Wan. I think of the weirder stuff.
Yeah.
The more horror things. And from that perspective, I really like it. It just reminds me of the casting of Raimi for Doctor Strange. Obviously, once again, he did Spider-Man too, but thinking about like the Evil Dead and like the weirder horror thing. So I like that idea of bringing him in here. So I think that's a very fun pick. I'm a fan of that one. And then what else? Rock as Apocalypse. It's funny, like if we think about the Apocalypse we got with Oscar Isaac, it's like I could never see The Rock playing that kind of role. But if you think about the animated series and that kind of big old Apocalypse,
Big guy.
you need a big, wide individual, and he is definitely that. So I don't really want it because I'm not a big fan of him, and I can't see him doing the voice. I don't know what I want, but I don't want that for The Rock. So yeah, I'm hoping that one does not come to be. And I don't know. What do you want to do that? What has he done since Black Adam in terms of movies?
He came back to wrestling.
Okay.
He's doing Moana 2. He's doing that A20. He's doing the A24 movie right now. They're filming that. So
What is that one?
It's him and the Safdie. Benny Safdie's directing that. It's Safdie's directing, Emily Blunt, and it's a smashing machine. It's based off a true story where it's an MMA fighter, but he gets like highly addicted to drugs. So it's gonna be like a big.
Okay,
big
I'm in on
swing
the
for
Rock again. Let's go.
It's a big swing for the Rock, and I think Safdie and Rock's gonna be a really interesting pairing. I think it's gonna make magic or be a disaster. Either one,
Did you hear that Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone are working on another project together?
Yeah, I was weird. It was weird though because they didn't say he's directing and then they're both
it's not
producing.
like officially confirmed, right? But
Yeah,
it's like looking like it.
No, I think it's like it's not official, but it was like Hollywood Reports. It's a big trade, but Nathan's directing and they're producing, but they didn't say if they were in it at all. So that's what I was waiting for, and that shoe hasn't dropped yet. So I just know they're working on it. But I love that trio is just kind of doing stuff. So
yeah,
and just like I hope at some point, I don't know how it will happen, the 6 degrees, but I think an on-screen interaction at any point of Nathan Fillion and The Rock would be quite interesting, and I think that the Rock. I actually think The Rock would maybe not enjoy that, but I would very much like to see that.
I don't.
situation
Yeah, I don't think The
happen.
Rock would get Nathan Fielder.
No, but I
Don't
want
get
to
me wrong.
see
I think
it.
he's a smart guy, but I don't think he'd get it.
Yeah, or it creates the best. Like that's like the all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
And again,
not
like
even
this
that,
apocalypse have to be big. Like Josh Brolin wasn't big, and they got him in the suit. Like for Thanos, right? They get the skinniest dude to play Apocalypse, and like just
true.
mocap him, right?
Yeah, it depends what angle we're going for. Like, I don't think anyone would be wearing a suit for Apocalypse. Once again, I think that would be fully CGI. I mean, I don't know. They could go for more of an Oscar Isaac sort of look, right?
Maybe
Make
that's
it
why
more
they
of a
get The
human
Rock.
type guy. So,
Save the budget, because he is big enough, so they know. Well, just
true.
throw that suit on him. Look at Black
Yeah.
Adam. They didn't have to pad it. It was skin tight.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, Marvel rumors.
Possible.
Well, first off, I'll start with Galactus. I think that I mean I had no idea that this actor was in Guardians of the Galaxy already as Ravager. I think that's kind of funny.
He was, yeah.
But
No speaking lines though. He was just like
No
a
speaking
background
lines.
player. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
that's
feel
a
like-
fun success story, actually. You're just kind of a background extra, and now you're Galactus. Like,
Well, I
good
feel
for
like that's
him.
kind of like a thing that Marvel likes to do. I mean,
Now they do, yeah.
with Eternals, the actress wasn't obviously
Gemma
a main
Chan,
background. Yeah, she wasn't
she
a
was
main
in
background
Marvel,
one
yeah.
in Marvel. Yeah, so but it's it's fun. I think that it's nice to kind of like keep it in the family a little bit.
Millions of actors.
He was a
out
huge
there.
part of the family. He was at every family dinner.
He's actually suing Disney right now as well too. So we'll see what
Is he
happens there.
really?
So yeah, I guess he got injured on the set of Willow, and he doesn't feel that they protected him. So I'm not sure if
like
that
he's
goes
getting
wrong.
hired as
Galactus.
Galactus.
Yeah.
that was his lawyer's demand.
Or I'm not sure if that is part of it, where you get a nice little big role and a pay bump, and don't sue us anymore for Willow. But so I don't know.
Not bad, not
that's
bad.
weird.
Yeah, good for
Straight
him.
up. So yeah, I think it's. I'm trying to remember who he was in Star Wars and in Harry Potter because it's been a good minute. But I remember him in Game of Thrones. I remember him.
He was in Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Apparently, that's what Google's saying with
Jeez.
his variety
Find
report
out.
here.
Good for
What's his
him.
name? Ralph something?
Ralph Ineson. Ineson.
I think it's Rafe, by the way.
Rafe.
Like how
Oh, like the
Fiennes?
Ray
Yeah,
Fiennes.
I
Fucking
think.
Ray Fiennes.
I think I
God
could be
damn.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard some people say Rafe already.
So I just think I think it's cool that we got this because did we have confirmation Galactus was coming or is this cemented?
Never from Disney or Marvel, but there's lots of scoopers that have been saying it's Galactus. And also we got the
Okay.
Silver Surfer casting a couple weeks ago with Julie Gardner. But this is the first time that and even the actor tweeted out like I'm Eden World. So like this is confirmation it's Galactus.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's great to have it officialized here. I think that's pretty cool. Malkovich, I enjoy everything that he's in. It could be Red, those Red movies with Bruce Willis. What do you got, Dylan?
In Harry Potter, he plays Amicus Caro.
Yeah, the fuck is
Never
that?
heard of
Hero.
This guy's been in so many he's in like 7 to 8 things every year somehow. He goes hard.
Oh, he was
Um,
one of the dudes at Hogwarts when Snape took over.
Do you know Charles Vane from Assassin's Creed Black Flag? He played that character.
Charles Vane. I need to see a face.
You should know that. And then in Star Wars, he played like senior officer, da da da.
Oh
whatever.
shit, he played him. No kidding.
He played who in Star Wars?
like some senior officer. I don't think he actually has a name.
Oh, but just a voice role.
Senior
right?
First Order officer in The Last Jedi.
Oh, he was seen. Okay, there you go.
So.
Yeah, he's tired of being the background guy now. So he's
And then he was in
Disney.
Star. Oh wait, Star versus the. That's not Star Wars. Never mind.
No.
But yeah, Malkovich, he's great. He popped up on my feed the other day for my clips, like because he was in Warm Bodies. I thought I'll have to rewatch that one because he's in there.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. So he's just reminds me of that guy that's just always in all of these movies. He's just in everything. So I think it's great that he's casted in here as in some shape or form. Like, and you know what? He meets my criteria, and I should have fucking drafted him. It's a
should've,
shame.
yeah.
He over 60.
This is his first comic book role too, because he almost played Vulture about 13 years ago, but that didn't happen. So
In what?
that was when they were doing Spider-Man 4 with Raimi. He apparently was the pick to play Vulture, and then it was going to be Anne Hathaway as Black Cat, and then they turned that to Vultress, his daughter. So there you go.
What could have been?
Yeah, what could have been? Yeah, it was supposed to come out May. It was supposed to come out a couple days ago. It was like its 13th anniversary a couple days ago. There's even a tweet of the Spider-Man account tweeting Spider-Man 4 coming May 2011.
Did they ever?
crazy.
They didn't film anything ever. It was just a script.
No, there is storyboards, and I think there's a pre-viz video out there. So they were they were making effects for it and everything. So they were far along, and even then, like there's an interview of Toby being like, "Yeah, we shoot in a couple months and stuff." And I think the rumor was just the budgets of Raimi, Dunst, and Toby. That's why they called it, and they went, let's just go get Garfield and Stone and start everybody anew and early and stuff.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Now we come to James Wan directing Spider-Man. I think this is great. I'd love to see it. Just make it super dark and gritty, and let's just get horror vibes.
I don't think we're going that route.
I want it to be very dark.
Should have
Like,
given
he
him
could do it.
Mysterio. He could have been a good fit for Mysterio.
He could have been and he could do dark if they want. Hey, we want a darker one. Sure, maybe. Like if it's
I want
street
Spider-Man
level,
to kill in this one, street level.
Nice.
Cool.
Now, you wrote Ryan Coogler in the notes. It's Ryan
Ryan
Coogler,
Coogler,
right?
my bad.
Okay, just making sure because
I
I
put
googled
that
it.
in
And I was like,
YouTube as well?
I can't find Ryan Coogler on here. in
Taylor, that
Google.
was unnecessary to throw Travis under the bus for that.
But you
It
know
went
what?
over my head.
It's still fine because in the YouTube description I also put cooler, so I'll take the loss. I didn't fix it in time, so I'll.
You did misspell the YouTube video, and I did correct it. But
Oh, what did I? It was a Galactus.
prequel was misspelled.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna roll today. I keep putting an I in Galactus too. I'm like,
Man,
that
when I
doesn't belong
joined the GeekVerse Music League and just seeing typos left, right, and center, oh my god!
Okay,
League,
but
the
like-
word "league" is spelt wrong. Which
Now
is the
you're
title.
throwing him under the bus now.
Saltburn is like there's an extra letter in there. It's like what's going on here, Travis?
I didn't even know that. I
How
don't know.
did you not notice that?
I actually haven't. Let me pull
Did you
music.
notice that you misspelled league?
I don't
the
know if I
title?
created that channel though.
Didn't you create the thing?
No, Taylor did.
The recent round of Music League? You
No,
didn't.
I did, but the music or wait, are you saying league in where? In
the current round that had just started. A couple
Oh,
days
like
ago, and
I'm
spell
not
league
affiliated.
returns? Are you
I'm
saying
not
that league is
affiliated with that.
spelled wrong? Yeah, okay, I see that now.
Sorry, Taylor. Yeah, I threw you under the bus for throwing Travis under the bus, and now I'm backing up the bus and doing
You,
it.
you would think I'd know how to spell league after all these years of like Justice League,
Geek
but
first and Gauntlet stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and now it doesn't even look like I can say it gives me an edit option, but it doesn't really look like it allows me to edit the bastard. So, oh yeah, why is there a U in Saltburn right there? Yeah, it must have been
Salty burn, yeah.
must have been in my fever stage. Keep going, Taylor.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler sets a direct X-Men movie. Maybe. I mean, yeah. Let's see what happens. But
You sound like you don't like this pick.
Yeah,
I
or
mean,
you know something.
Notorious
no,
X-Men
I
hater.
don't know anything. But no,
Taylor's
we'll just
trying to get us a meeting with Feige before they give it. Oh, let's see what happens. It's not over yet.
Well, the main juicy news here though is The Rock as Apocalypse. I think that's
That's juicy, right?
he's. I just
It's been fixed. There you go.
it's been fixed. Perfect.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
fixing
just,
Saltburn. The round's over in a few hours. So
Yeah, that's fine.
You're
I don't-
for this, aren't you, Taylor?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it as long as it's. I don't know, like who else? Who did we draft? I have to actually. Don't say that because
Well, don't
people
spoil
can go
it, it's on
tune
Patreon.
into our draft. Yeah, that's on our Patreon.
I
but,
think we all have better choices than The Rock. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I like The Rock, but I don't. I think The Rock, or I think Apocalypse, even though he's not always like that in the animated show, I would like someone like a Brolin, where I don't think Brolin is the best actor in the world, but I think he can still bring it and have great scenes. And I think you need that. Now, maybe we see the Smashing Machine, this A24 movie with The Rock, and we go, it's there. And I do think he can, because recently when he came back to WWE, he played a bad guy again, and it's the final boss. It's literally the best acting he's ever done in his life. So I think he is trying. So it's not that it's the worst thing ever. I just think there's like, in a list, he'd be pretty far down it, you know?
I don't think it's worth the money for them, is it?
That too.
Because I don't know if he's a blockbuster seller. I don't know if he gets as many ticket sales as he used to.
Yeah, last 2 years though, biggest blockbuster star. But I agree with you. I think
Was
he's
he?
not worth the money. He was, yeah, for the like highest paid actor, highest paid earning. I don't know what it is.
Okay, but not movies, box office.
probably not. I don't think that. No, I don't think Black Adam was bringing that. I don't think in general, like anyone, like not that you got to go the.
I think since Skyscraper, he's has fallen off a bit on the revenue at the box office.
Skyscraper. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like Rafe. It's like that. Just you don't need a star for Apocalypse. You really don't. Like, as no disrespect to Josh Brolin, but like they didn't. And I love him as Thanos. He's irreplaceable now. But like, you didn't need like that movie is gonna be a success because Josh Brolin was Thanos. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened to happen. You know.
What happened?
Like that's one thing I'll give Snyder credit is he just went to go get like a really good voice actor for Darkseid in the Snyder cut. That's it. Just a guy that sounds like Darkseid and cool. Awesome. That's all you need, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to I forgot that man's name. I've met him on the vodka stream. He's a nice fellow. Fuck. Oh, it's Ray something. Damn it. Not Ray Stevens. No, that's the guy that passed away. Shit. Who knows?
Damn.
I can't even name drop him. I've met a celebrity. I can't even name drop him. But the guy who met Darkseid, great guy.
Okay. Yep, I believe you.
I feel like The Rock would love to just put his own spin on playing Apocalypse, and it'd be risky. I don't know if it would work. I'd much rather pick. I looked up what I picked for Apocalypse, and I think my pick would be much better than The Rock. So
I think mine's actually about as good as The Rock, to be honest. Going back to mine, but tune in the episode to find out and let us know what you think.
Yeah, it's the season of X right now. We got the X-Men fantasy draft with the heroes part 1. We got the villains. So you should go check that out. Next month we are doing the side characters. So yeah, those have been really fun. So go check those out and you can find out who we may or may not draft. Who is my pick for that? Oh yeah, I like mine better too. So yeah, I'm all for that. So SBubs asked what you could do on Patreon at any time when we do newscast. Ask question. If you had one, Taylor asked what was politicking. I didn't have the time to answer you. I don't know why you don't know what that is. That just means like you're trying to like get a role. Like you're just like you're really like it'd be like The Rock every day texting Foggy like, hey, I'd really like to be part of the X-Men. Like that would be politicking.
politicking. I've never heard that term before. So
Really,
It's
you're almost
politicking,
30. You've
not
never heard
politicking,
politicking.
right?
Yeah. Well, don't ask me how it's
What
spelled,
is
but
it?
Yeah, politicking.
Is it not
What'd you say?
pot licking or is it politicking?
It's politicking, not pot licking.
Well, that's how you spelled it. Whoever spelled it.
That was S Bubs, not me. Oh no, that was Taylor. Taylor spelt it as pot licking.
did I spell as pot licking?
See, no one can spell around. It's politicking, not pot. It's The Rock pot licking to get an accent.
Google has given me answers for both. I'm gonna be honest with you on this.
Oh no, I wrote politicking, and yeah, SBubs wrote politicking as well.
Okay,
Did he?
where you
So
seeing
pot-
pot licking, Dylan? See, maybe I'm not spelling wrong. Maybe something's wrong with Dylan's eyes. You know, he's seeing pot licking going on. He said though, if you had to gun to your head for $1 million, cast The Rock in X-Men, what would you do? I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna take Bishop because I think Bishop would be lots of fun. I think that fits in The Rock's world. Like Bishop and Cable, they're always just fucking jacked, right? I think if you use Bishop like 97, where he's around but not a main character right away, that's like something good for The Rock. Like very similar like Hobbs, the Fast and Furious movie, where he shows up, some one-liners, cool stuff, and get him in the dreads. Put him on, get that wig on him. I want to see it. So, and I actually think like that's like Bishop has some emotion, of course, but I think like right away you would just start with Bishop as a badass time traveler. The second The Rock would show up, you'd have that presence of like, oh, don't mess with this guy. So I think Bishop and him would be lots of fun.
A pot licker is someone who crowds someone else's fishing spot,
What the fuck?
which
what
I think
Dwayne
is
Johnson's
accurate.
doing.
in this
I didn't even know
He's
that.
always just crowding the Marvel fishing spot. He's putting his big face in there. He's trying to take all the roles.
Jeez.
That's Urban Dictionary, I think. So who knows if it's official?
Oh yeah, Urban Dictionary.
I'm
is something.
I'm gonna
else.
go with Bone Breaker as my
Oh, yeah.
primary pick for The Rock. Now, would he do a role like that? Absolutely not. So my backup here, I'll give him Colossus. I'll give him a Colossus
I was
role.
thinking that. That's a good one.
Get him to do the
And
Russian.
you know what? He could spend a lot of time not metal mode. You know how like the old X-Men movies, how he wasn't always metal like Deadpool. I think he'd get a lot of like just The Rock being The Rock, but then he could go metal mode and do cool stuff, crush Zoicans, that kind of thing.
Do they do like old school, like what they did the Hulk, where they painted up a actor? They don't CGI the gold. They like just
I
paint
guess
him up. Crow.
with him, you don't. Yeah, that's all you need to do. Throw some dollar store paint on him, you're good to go.
Kill the fucking Rock with the dollar store paint. Damn.
Colossus is a good pick. I would go. I was thinking Blob for the meme, but no, I give him.
You're gonna make him what? Put on all those pounds. He's worked for 40 years on this
I
body.
would love to
meticulously.
see that. That'd be crazy.
If I had to pick, like, gun to my head, I'd probably go Sabretooth. I think he played good Sabretooth.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I say.
What do you think about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine with The Rock as Sabretooth in terms of that duo?
That'd
The
be
amount
so
of
good.
testosterone in that room and like dead chicken and just like the protein shakes. That trailer stinks, man. But I don't think Rock has the chutzpah to do Sabretooth. I don't think he can get there. But I'd like to see it on like SNL, you know.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
So there you go. All right. We'll take our last ad break, then we're going to fire off some quick reviews of trailers and some news. We'll be right back. And we're back. So trailers. We got trailers for, where are we? The Boys Season 4, Quiet Place, the second trailer, Day 1, Quiet Place trailer number 2, Twisters number 2, and Megalopis trailer number 1. Dylan, what
Tell
do
me
you think
about
all this?
Megalopolis. What am I missing here?
That's how I know. So this is the director, Francis Ford Coppola, one of the greatest directors of all time. He did the Godfather series. He did Apocalypse Now. He did what I think is one of the sexiest movies of all time. A movie that fucks Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's a lots
Sorry,
of
what's it called?
Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's a spite.
Stroker's Dracula?
Bram Bram, and then Stroker.
Is this in the
Dracula.
Brahms the Boy universe?
No,
Okay.
not at all. No, Gary Oldman plays Dracula. One of
Have
the
I
writers
seen
in
any
it.
movies that this guy's done?
I don't think so because I feel like if you haven't seen The Godfathers, which is like it's kind of a bit of a crime. We're getting a 1-star review, but that's okay. But that's like considered either part 1 or part 2 is considered the greatest movie ever made.
Haven't heard
But
of it,
so
but-
he, as far as the 70s, a bit of the 80s, he's directed like Apocalypse Now. Like these are movies that are considered like the goat of the goat, right?
Sure.
So the thing is, he's made some movies that pass a little bit that haven't been the greats, and I haven't seen them all, but just from what I hear. And the problem he was having a couple years ago that people would not fund his movies, which there's some in the film community that go like, hey, this guy made The Godfather. Like, how will we not give him, some money to make a movie? So what he did, he took a lot of his money in the past, invested in wineries and stuff. He sold his winery and other things to self-finance this movie. This movie has like a mega, like 200, I'll find it, but like a massive budget. It's driver, it's Aubrey Plaza. Unfortunately, it's Shia LaBeouf. There's other people in here too, but let me just but it's like, okay, 120 million. I think it's probably more than that, but still, it's his own money. It's money that he saved up these past years and everything like that. It still technically doesn't have a North American distributor yet. Has one in France, so I'm sure it'll get here. But so it's like gonna be one of the biggest independent movies of all time. And I don't know what to take from this trailer, but yeah, did this intrigue you at all?
Now, apparently Zendaya might be in this movie too, which would be even
Really?
crazier.
I don't
know.
that's
She's
true.
not on the IMDb page. But when I Google it, she's in the cast. So I don't know. That's
Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Natalie Emiliano, Abra Plazo, Shia LaBeouf, John Voight, Jason Schwartzman,
Sorry, can you go back
Lawrence
to the
Fishburne,
Aubrey for a second? and
Aubrey
say that
Plaza.
again? You didn't say Plaza.
Dustin, what did I say?
You said Aubrey
Plaza.
Plazo.
Which sounds like a Star Wars
Yeah.
character.
And Dustin Hoffman. So there's a lot of people in
A lot
here.
of people.
Premise: an accident destroys New York City like Metropolis, already in decay. Caesar Catalini, an idealist architect with the power to control time, aims to rebuild the city as a utopia, while the opposition, a corrupt mayor, remains committed to a regressive status quo.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, the trailer doesn't give me any of that. So
Yeah.
obviously it seems it's like I want to call it a teaser, but it's like 2 minutes long of just Adam Driver like on a ledge there. So I don't know. There's some interesting ideas there. I really like the cast. I think the title's really bad. I don't think that's a good name if they're trying to make this a big movie.
I agree. It's not.
I don't think it rolls off the tongue. I tried to say it multiple times and was just tripping over my tongue on that one. So I don't know. There's some interesting concept there. But I don't know. This looks weird. I don't know if I'm in on this one yet. I need to get an actual trailer, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Or just wait till it comes out and hear what people say about it in our Discord. That would kind of be my current plan of attack for that one, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's some promise potentially.
How do you
hidden
feel?
there.
We talked about on the Discord. How do you feel about seeing Adam Driver's short hair? I feel like that's it was a choice.
He kind of had like a bucket cut, like or a what do they
Yeah.
call it, bowl cut?
Bowl cut, yeah.
So that I mean the short hair I'm not opposed to it in theory, but the actual cut itself was not looking great. So
To be
not my favorite
desired.
look for him. But he had short hair in something else that we reviewed at some point, didn't he? He hasn't always had the long hair, right? I could be wrong.
I don't think anything we reviewed. In the boys, he had some, or in the girls, he had some shorter hair. But
The boys, the girls.
Yeah. oh, these other trailers still.
Yeah. So I didn't watch The Boys because I've never seen that show. Twisters. So I've seen this trailer and Quiet Place a million times, like the first one at the theater because they just
they love
it's
playing that
these
one.
and Furiosa. Like every movie, I'm seeing those three trailers
That's what
back
we-
to back to back. Throw
we got
Planet of the
those-
Apes in there.
We got those last night. And guess what else we got before Planet of the Apes?
Fuck.
I
You'll
don't
never
know.
guess it. We got Planet of the Apes.
Wow, that's crazy.
They showed a trailer for the movie we were about to see.
It was the final trailer too. Out of all the trailers.
Was it a trailer? Have you guys seen that trailer before?
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah,
that's
many
like the most
times.
recent one that's been circulating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
At
a
least it
wonderful
wasn't some
movie.
other new footage. I hate when they like. I still remember going to
Yeah.
that Batman like early fan screening, and there was just spoilers out the wazoo like 15 minutes before the movie. I'm like, get out of here! I don't need to know who all these characters are playing and what their roles are in the movie. But yeah, so anyway, I've seen all those a lot now, and I feel like with Twisters, I was like, the more I watch a trailer, the more I was like, you know what, this could be fun. This could be fun. But then this trailer comes around, I'm like, nah, this movie looks like garbage. I am not into it. It has very like redneck vibes to it. Like I'm not into it. I don't like the characters. I don't like the story. They're getting too weird with some of this stuff. With just like the sci-fi around like trying to make these Twisters interesting. And I just felt like it was a weirdly edited trailer. It didn't flow well. And there's even a moment too where like, you have Glenn Powell. And what's the name of the main girl in there?
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Okay, you got Daisy in there, and she has like. There's a scene where she's talking to him. She's looking at him. She says something to him. Then the camera cuts to his like from another perspective, and then he dramatically turns his head to talk to her. And then it cuts back to that first angle, and then she turns her head to him, but she was already looking at him. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
if you're having weird editing things like this in your trailer, I feel like that's not a good sign for what the movie will be. Maybe I'm getting too hung up on
They're
it.
they're
but-
trying to hide the big cameo, like a Marvel style. You know, there's someone else in that scene they don't want to show.
Yeah, someone in the background behind
Yeah.
them. But yeah, no, I'm officially out on this. I did not like this trailer. And then Quiet Place is a weird one where I didn't want to see any more of this movie. I'm already sold on it. Yeah, honestly, this trailer, I don't think it's quite as good as the first one. I don't know if there's much more that got me into this one other than I guess seeing more of, I can't remember his name either.
Joseph Quinn.
Yeah, Joseph Quinn, because he was
Yeah.
just very briefly in that first one. So you get to see a little bit more of him, and it seems like they will be a duo, him and Lupita, which I guess makes sense, but I just hadn't really seen that much in that first trailer. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for this movie. But yeah, I don't think this trailer really changed that excitement whatsoever.
Which I think is good because that was my worry. I think they expand on some stuff, but I also still don't think they showed too much more. It showed like they showed variations of the scenes we'd already seen with like, okay, you get to see maybe how they meet and stuff, but it wasn't like the big stuff. They did officially, because in the first trailer they showed that bridge exploding. This time they showed the wide shot. So that's one thing they revealed which we could put together, but still the idea of this attack must start in this city wherever they are, and the government decides to lock it off. Like, oh, we're just going to take the bridges out. And that, like I said, like if they can dive into those emotions of how scary that would be, if you are in the city that is quarantined and now you have no way out, that must be something. And I think that's the best things about these trailers is just like the dread that they show off. Like, I hate to say it, but it feels like they are hitting in an alien invasion, like almost like a 9/11 sort of sense. Like some of these features they're showing. So I'm slowly more and more getting more hyped about this. And I can't remember too, they announced this director. It's like the Wes Ball thing where they announced he's doing something. I have to look it up where I was like, okay, well, I hope day one's good because that's the choice of this thing. So no, I'm getting more and more excited for this one. I'm setting myself up though now because I feel like Man Watch just disappoint me, but really like the cast and excited to see more Joseph Quinn. But yeah, this trailer still continues to be good. Twisters, I really don't know. Hated that song choice, but I agree with Dylan. I think they're hitting the right demographic. This one, I'm sure I'll see at some point because, as I've said before, Emily's a big fan of the first one. I may or may not be on the review. It just kind of depends if me and Emily see it. I think that might be a drive-in one for us. So that I'm a 50-50. If I'm on the review, it's just because I happen to see it. It's not because I would be personally going out to see it. I'm just more curious of how this movie does financially. Because like last week, we just had Fall Guy disappoint and it didn't hit its expectations. And with this one, like the whole talk is like, oh, Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, like two of the biggest stars. Like, what?
Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah, because I'm saying anyone but you happened. It was a big hit.
Okay.
So everyone's like, oh, these two gonna be big stars. Immaculate made some money for his budget, but Madam Wed ate shit. So to me, this is like a real tipping point of, okay, what is Glenn Powell's like actual star potential here? Like, is he someone that people are gonna go to pay to see? Because I thought with Ryan Gosling that was going to happen last week, and it didn't. People just, oh, I want original stuff. No, I don't want to see. You know, Barbie, biggest star with Ken. Oppenheimer, biggest star with Emily Blunt. Nah, I don't need to see this. So like with Twisters, I really can't place what the nostalgia is. Last year, Indiana Jones ate shit, but then Willy Wonka made a bunch of money. So I really don't know where people are with Twisters, and maybe people don't even associate it with the first one. I don't know. So the movie kind of like I'm with you, Dylan. There's times it looks fun and times I'm like, oh, I'm out. So I think it will at least I think if you're into it, it'll probably be a good time. So who knows? But I think those two look like they're going to have good chemistry. I'm a big fan of her and I like Glenn Powell a lot. So I actually think they're going to have a really good back and forth. What else? Boys looks great. Boys looks like, I don't know if Taylor will agree, I feel like there could be lots of seasons left, but I also feel like as intense it's getting, I don't know how much longer we can go because I feel like the stakes are really ramping up. I do agree with people that it's not so much a superhero parody show. It has just turned into like a superhero show. Like it is about attacks and not the end of the world, but the end of society. But looks great. Can't wait. I'm excited to see what
season are we on now?
We're on 4, and then there was a spin-off show as well. So
Right,
so 4, and then the spin-off show's getting a second season. So we'll see about that. And that was cool. Already characters from the spin-off show are in this show, so they're making that connected. So yeah, Boys is always delivered. I'm rewatching it right now. It's been great rewatching it because they did lots of interweaving with stuff that I didn't even realize at the time watching. So Boys is just like high quality. We do have a question about the June shows in a second. I'll hit you boys with in a second. What else was there? Oh, Megalopis. I don't know, man. I really don't know. That's one, again, I'm very curious to see. I just think it's going to come out and eat a lot of shit, and then it's going to be a sad lesson, but a lesson nonetheless of you sell your winery, you raise $120 million. Because this thing, like we talk about, you bank, you go make original film with stars, right? But that's the thing we saw with 65, and to me, 65 had more potential. The only way I think this has potential is like if word of mouth is like definitive, like it is like you have to see this movie. It's one of the top of the year, and I don't know if it can be that. And even if that's the case, talking about Fall Guy, like years ago, Blade Runner, 2049, all these great reviews, and that ate shit, right? So just because you're like one of the best movies of the year doesn't mean anything. So I probably will see this. I'm a big fan of Adam Driver. I hate that Shia LaBeouf is in this because they're doing the whole like, oh, he's having a second chance and everything. I guess I just don't want the second chance on my screen. I'm more than willing to but there's other people in there. So yeah, I don't know. And I can't even say if I'll see it because it doesn't have a date because it doesn't have a distributor yet. So that could be another bad sign too of like if they, because that's the thing of like, will anyone want to take a shot on this? I'm sure there's a better trailer out there that's bigger, but it also looks like it'd be. Go ahead.
So I mean, the movie's done though at this point, right? Like they've
Yes.
filmed it and everything. Okay.
I think they've screened it to people too. Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, with this trailer, you think that they could have just made this in a studio in an afternoon or something.
Yeah. Visually, I like the look. I like the color. I like that it's definitely there's some CGI there, but it looks like some of the better, like almost early 2000s CGI where it was a really good mix. So I was enjoying that. It almost looked like what the Matrix and Spider-Man would look like done in today's day and age and not super rush. And that was, I guess, apparently part of the budget ballooning was the special effects because he had never really worked with them and that he didn't maybe plan for how expensive those were. So I am intrigued. I liked the idea of him stopping time. I just don't know what that means per se. I
I was
need
a little
that second
confused.
trailer.
He like stops time to like stop himself from falling.
Yeah.
But then he's like still moving and he like moves himself backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it.
And that's where I wasn't sure is some simulation or real thing, because I think I had read the synopsis before, but I completely forgot it. But Taylor, where are you on these trailers?
Yeah, I think Megalopolis, it really intrigued me actually. So I'm curious. I'm very curious about that one. I like the
Curious.
idea of him controlling time and him being up on this top of this building. For whatever reason, I took it as he just needed to be up there to kind of like see what he was doing and just like, am I really doing this kind of a thing? I thought it was cool. Very CGI though. A
Taylor,
quiet,
share my thoughts.
A Quiet Place, day one. Now, Travis, you mentioned like this being maybe like the starting point, like where it's kickstarts. They're trying to isolate it. I think they're trying to isolate what's going on the island, but it's not the starting point, because if we remember Krasinski at the baseball game, like it was all over the place, and that wasn't in the heart of New York City. So they were out in like the countryside. So these things were falling everywhere when the meteorites were flying overhead.
So where was Krasinski? Where does that take place city-wise?
It takes place far north of New York in the country. I think I found
Okay, but it's all still
Millbrook.
New York, though, right?
It's in the state of New York.
Yeah,
it's,
so they're closing off New York, though, I would assume.
but then
right?
it also seems like his people dissected and said that in the first movie, the newspaper reports and stuff that Krasinski's character had, it talks about Mexico being kind of where the meteorites are crash landing. So I think wherever these things were falling in the sky or like flying in the sky, these things were just dropping and falling off of the trajectory, basically. Like rain.
I think they're just gonna maybe think that like it started in New York and they close it off and they go, "We did it." And
Yeah.
why else? Why would, like, if it's all around the world, why would you focus on getting rid of those bridges, right? Because then it's like, well, we don't need to stop these bridges. If it's like in New York, Canada, Mexico, it's like destroying these bridges isn't gonna do anything unless we see the movie, of course, and they do show a reason why that happens. So
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I'm excited.
That's like that's like I Am Legend has that same kind of plot point where they blow up the bridges there, but that makes sense because it's like a virus that began right there in that city. So you guys are making good points, and the bridge part doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Dark Knight
don't get-
Rises did
Don't
it as
get
well.
caught
too?
on that bridge if the shit hits the fan.
Yeah,
No.
be off the bridge. Yeah.
Be off the bridge. So I'm excited for the movie. I think it's gonna be a really, really good time. I'm so happy that we're expanding on the lore, and the trailer itself had some really cool shots, especially just the zoomed out shots and seeing how these things are moving en masse and like in groups. They feel like spiders when they're crawling up the
Yeah.
buildings. It's fucking terrifying.
yeah.
And there's another quick scene in the trailer where the survivors are moving through this tunnel and the water's up to their neck, and it shows the perspective of the creature and it shows its arms moving forwards. Like it's freaky, very freaky. But I can't wait to see what they do with some new shots with these things. I think it's going to be a good time. And as we get to I'm drawing a blank here.
Twisters.
The Boys.
Boys.
And what
Yes.
was the other one too?
What was the other one, Dylan?
Twisters.
Twisters, yeah, I was gonna say
You're all
Twisters.
you're all for that.
The Boys was this was just hype. I feel you, Travis. I think we're kind of getting to the end part of this show, even though it could keep going and going and going. There's so many
Yeah.
things that have popped up where okay, I'm really curious now with Black Noir popping in here. Okay, is he replaced?
Oh my God.
Like
Yeah.
I'm excited to review it with you because I feel like all the rewatch you've done, you'll be able to really fill in the gaps and bring me up to speed. So I'm really looking forward to this show and just to get Homelander back and just this divide between Starlight's folks and Homelander's folks. It's going to be such a rompous time. I can't wait. And the big thing too is I feel like the first episode of those first 3 episodes with the boys, they always have some of the grossest and craziest shit just to hook you in.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do it again. I'll never forget last season's intro. That was just one of the most fucked up stuff I've seen. So they're going to top it. They always do. I can't wait for the show. It's so good. I love it. And then
And a question for you guys. I had just started Invincible. I'm on like episode 3.
Nice.
Should I do that or should I watch The Boys first instead?
That's a Travis question for sure.
The Boys, you got 3 seasons. So like,
How
if
long
you,
is an episode of The Boys?
a full
hour?
hour? Yeah,
hour?
those are girthy episodes. Yeah,
Girth,
the Amazon spends. So I'd say if you want to be caught, I feel like if you want to be there for June 13th, then switch to The Boys.
No, that's not happening. No,
Then I'd say do Invincible then The Boys. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'd say. Stick on Invincible, and then go to the Boys.
So as we jump over to Twisters, I am very, very excited for this movie. I
Nice.
really, really am. Every time I see a trailer, it gets me super, super jazzed. And then, sure enough, getting this new trailer, it just, I think getting Powell in this cowboy role is definitely it's my kind of jam. I'm all about the cowboy life right now, the ranch life. So him rocking the hats, seeing the ranch like arena stuff here, this is just gonna be a good time. I can't wait to just turn my brain off and enjoy some absolute chaos. I just can't wait. I just can't wait. So I'm there for this movie for sure.
Happy for
That's
you.
good. Superman Mike asked, we talked only about the boys, but it inspired because I think there's a lot of news about shows, and we got an announcement about the Bear coming out. He did ask, what would you rank the June shows? Because we are a month away, and I think we're reviewing all three. Sorry, Mike, we're not reviewing the Bear, but maybe you'll hear some thoughts. But the boys, Acolyte, House of Dragon, and the Bear. Dylan, how do you rank those? If you had to, because you haven't seen any, but if they came to you and said, what would you put in the order?
If I had to, I need to see them in front of me.
Okay,
here.
you want me to go to Taylor first while you look at it?
No, I can see them here. Okay. I'll go boys top of the list. Because I'm a superhero guy. You know me.
Yep.
I just love it. I just love that
I would love
stuff.
to hear your thoughts on the boys when you get there. It's gonna be.
Yes. Very much
Are you
so.
watching The Invincible with Muds?
No.
Okay,
Too violent.
Yeah,
I, think.
I wouldn't watch.
think-
Don't
I
watch
think
The
she'd
Boys
like it.
then with Muds. Then
Yeah, no, that's in my own free time, those ones.
Okay.
And then I'll go the Bear because I've watched a bit of that in passing because that is a Muds show, but she watched it without me, but I've watched a couple episodes as she's going through it, and that's good stuff. There was like a one dinner scene where you had what's his name, John Bernthal in there, and that was some spicy stuff. So that was a good scene. And then I'll go House of Dragon.
I knew he was gonna put.
And then, believe it or not, Star Wars is last. So
There's really the other two I buy, but like I feel like if you had to pick House of Dragon season 2 or like The Acolyte, which is a season 1, when you wanted to jump on for like,
I thought this hypothetical was like if I was into these shows.
It's for the show's coming out June.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it'd be easier.
To go stars at the
There's
top
no
of
chance
that
I would
list.
watch House of Dragon season 2 without season 1. So yeah, okay, you got me there. But from that logic, then Acolyte is the top show because it's the
Boom,
only
we did it.
non-season, multiple season. So boom,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
I'm gonna
fair.
go Acolyte and then House of Dragon because it only has one other season. Then the Bear because it only has 2 other seasons. And the Boys because it only has 3 other seasons. So there you go.
Taylor.
Oh, I really do love. I love all these shows except for the Bear, which is going to be last because I haven't seen it. That's the only reason why I can't say I love it or dislike it. But maybe I'll get around to doing it. But the other shows, I mean, oh god, I am excited for Acolyte. I really, really am. But I don't think it's gonna be making my juices go as hard as.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't want to visualize your hard juices. I am shocked that's not a number 1 with a bullet for you.
These are some good shows, man, and I'd probably put the Boys up first because I'm really like.
I gotta
I'm
watch
worried
this
about
show.
Acolyte
Fuck
now.
Invincible, man. If Taylor is watching this over Star Wars, come
I
on.
love the Boys. The Boys is so good, and a close second. It's by like a hairline is House of Dragon season 2 because getting into that first season was fucking fantastic.
Wow, not even top 2 for Star Wars.
Yeah, Acolyte's gonna be number 3, not by a hairline either. So
Jesus. I think my list is the exact same. I haven't finished The Bear. Me and Emily started watching The Bear, binge through season 1, and then season 2 we just hit a hiccup. We didn't dislike it. We just like watched it, and it's been like at least 2 months since we went back to it. But I think we will watch that to catch up on this because they're all dropping binge again. Season 3, it's just day 1, which is surprising for The Bear.
what's it
But yeah,
streaming on?
Disney Plus for us, Hulu for Americans.
okay.
Yeah. So it's easy watch. And if you ever want to watch them today, they're quick episodes. They're under half an hour, most of them. So like it's a comedy. So you'll be hungry too. Acolyte, there's a version of this that would be number 1, but that's just because the Star Wars disappointment lately. They haven't really hit for me hard. Like I liked Ahsoka, but all of them have stumbles. There's not like it's not like even MCU that's had their issues is like, well, at least you got Guardians, or even right now it's like X-Men 97's okay, it's not MCU, but it's still like Marvel related. Where Star Wars, I just feel like we haven't had, and this could be it. Maybe it's it, but we just need like one more great one. Where that was happening, I feel like from 2015 to 2020, where it was like it's wavering, but you'd always get something great. Where Star Wars, I feel like it's been a bit. And then House of Dragon number 2, that's just purely because The Boys is just so good. House of Dragon could end up being the better show quality-wise because the season 1 was phenomenal, but The Boys is just... Homelander is the greatest character in TV right now, easily, and he could be in the war, like, as far as current characters. That's one of the best-written characters, villains, protagonists, antagonists. Like, it's always interesting, and Anthony Starr is just a fucking... killer. Like, the fact that he doesn't have an Emmy is a fucking crime, but yeah, The Boys is... It's always going to be pretty tip top. That's like the best superhero stuff going right now. Other than, that'd be an interesting conversation, like once X-Men finishes, what that would be. Because before I could just say, oh, well, Boys easy. That's been DC, that's been Marvel. Other than the odd, like, oh, the Batman or Spider-Verse, but overall The Boys. But X-Men 97 is pretty good, so...
Good.
There you go. I think we're gonna withhold that news till next week, the smaller one, just about Batman and Friday 13th, because I see Mr. Patzer he's waiting. He's motherfuckering me. You know, I said, "Oh, we'll be ready to go in 15." He doesn't say anything, so I'm like, "Oh, I don't gotta rush to the news." And then when it's 9:15, he's like, "Oh yeah, what's going on?" So we're gonna save and it's just small news. Friday 13th, Batman, The Incredibles, and Dory. We'll save that for sometime next week or the next newscast. And yeah, are you frozen, Dylan? He really... I said we're gonna end it, and he left. He's like, yeah,
He's
I guess
out.
it's over. Yeah,
He's gone.
I thought he was just that upset that we weren't covering the news stories, because he was so stern. So it's like, man, he really
You did a lot of prep work on those notes.
he really wanted to talk about those news stories. But yeah, we are gonna, like I said, we got Planet of the Apes to record, so we're gonna do that. We'll save those for another time. And yeah, thank you for tuning in to this episode. Yeah, what do you have to say for yourself there? What does he say there? Let's see. My internet dropped. That's okay. Just tell me end of the episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dylan's internet drop. We'll be back next week and a bunch of other times. Thank you very much. Check out Apes Review, X-Men Review, all that good jazz, and it won't be boring.